FA Cup, fourth round. Is this a welcome distraction for David Moyes? Or if we lose this one, does it cost him his job? West Ham versus Derby. It's the big match preview. Joining me on this show is Dan Lawless. Hello, Dan. Welcome back, mate.
Cheers, Scott. You're sounding more and more like a Sky Sports presenter there. Super professional and smooth. I love it. But yeah, listen, that's a big question you've asked. There is this pressure for Moyes, more pressure or distraction or what? Because a few people are saying, like, we lose the Derby, we should be out. That's just the case when you're going through that bad run of game. Every game, you've got, the spotlight is on you and the pressure's on game to game. You know me, I've been a big sort of vocal voice against Moyes, right? Yeah. Saying that he should go.
Yeah.
I've been saying he should go for a while now. I think he probably should have gone before the World Cup, but can understand why he didn't.
Yeah.
We've got the win against Everton. Me and Nicky, obviously, we was talking to you. We didn't think it was as good a performance as you did. I don't know, like, to me, do you think that Everton game is enough for you to see and say, do you know what? Moyes, I think we need to give him time. Was there enough there for you to say that, or do you still have doubts about it?
I saw a lot of improvements. I know tonight when we've just filmed Friday Night Pint, you said you saw individual performances, but I saw a big change. Not a big change. I saw a change in the way we were playing. The press was higher. We did the job, as I said. I know you guys come back at me, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and we did that comfortably. So is that the possession stats don't matter? We did that comfortably, and that's the thing for me is we look more comfortable, we look more composed, and I think this game is a good distraction for us. Moyes is still under a lot of pressure, but for me, I feel that this is a good distraction. It's a good chance to get the momentum going. Keep that momentum going. And push on and get into this next round.
So if we lost this game, would you sack him on losing this game?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It doesn't help. I wouldn't sack him on the fact that we've lost this game.
The crazy thing is, I agree with you. That's the funny thing is, like I said, I think he should have got sacked. Weeks ago, I think he should have got sacked for not beating Leeds. All of that stuff. I said before, Everton, win, lose or draw, he should go.
Mm-hmm.
If the board now are deciding to stick with him, and I've started to, I guess because, we won and then we haven't played it since then and we've had a transfer window distraction, I've gotten sort of just used to the idea that he's staying. I look at it and I go, if we're gonna stick with him, I wouldn't sack him on the strength of this FA Cup game. Because as much as I want to win every game, and it is important, like you said, momentum, we get 2 wins on the spin, that'll do us wonders. If we lose it, to me, in my mindset, we're not going to win the FA Cup. Graham, put your hands over your ears if you're watching. We're not going to win this FA Cup this season. I don't give us a chance with the way we are. So us being out of it lets us now focus on the league and the Conference League. I'm not saying he should lose it. I'm just saying it's not a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think... And I want him to make changes to the team. I don't want him to put out a strongest 11. If we put out a strongest 11, our absolute first team, and we lose it, then yeah, sack him. But I think if he does what he needs to do and rotates the squad and we lose, I can't fault him too much.
If, like you said, he puts a full strength 11 out, the strongest 11 we got available, obviously with the injuries we got, and then we pick up a couple of injuries, more injuries, do you then go from the boat of we shouldn't have played a full strength side, we shouldn't be looking to push through? Do you feel that he has that opportunity that he can rotate the players? Do you feel that he's, because of the pressure that's on him, he has to win this game for him, as well as we said, building the momentum?
I think the pressure is almost on him to rotate. I think he has to, because of the injuries that we have. I think with Zuma being injured, Cornet, Skamaka, Ings, those injuries there. If we do play, like you said, play a full strength 11, someone goes down injured, the key player, like a Bowen or an Antonio or a Declan Rice or a Gued, God forbid a Gued gets injured in this game, we're in banging trouble.
Yeah.
So if he rotates, and I still think we've got enough there that's been not been on the bench that's strong enough to beat a League One side.
Yeah, see, I look at this as you look at the teams that we've played in the Conference League so far, in the group stage and all that. And you would probably say, in a way, I know this is no disrespect to their top flight football, but we beat a couple of them teams quite easily, and we're playing quite poorly with a rotated side. So you can sort of see these teams in a League One or Championship level being very competitive. I'm not trying to disrespect the top leagues of them countries, but they are more Championship League One standard than they are Premier League standard. So I feel that the way we beat these Conference League sides, we can do that with a rotated side, and that's not disrespecting Derby one bit because they are in fine form going into this game. They've not lost the game in 90 minutes since October last year. So that tells you how much of a tough task this will be, and they will be up for this game.
I'm very interested to see your starting 11 because I think this could be one of the first time in a while where ours are completely different.
Well, I'll tell you what then, right? We'll go into that. I'll start with my one. I've gone for Areola in goal, so long as he's fit, because he needs game time. He should be our number one. Johnson will start at right back. The two centre halves will be Kehrer and Bonner. Creswell will come in at left back. Downs will get a start in the midfield. There will be no Declan Rice. The other two midfielders playing in there with him will be Souček and Lanzini. Bowen on the right. Fornals on the left and Antonio up top. Now, we can't rotate Bowen and we can't rotate Antonio because we've got no other options on them two sides.
Bloody hell, Scott. This nearly exactly the same. Right, so Areola, like I said, Creswell, Bonner, Kehrer, Johnson. Exactly the same. Downs and Souček in the middle, right? I've gone for the 4-2-3-1. Yeah. But the difference is I've put Fornals in the middle in front of Downs and Souček. And Lanzini on the left. Now, I recognise Lanzini is better in the middle than he is on the wing, but I think Fornals is as well. And Lanzini's played on the wing in the past for us, so I put him there and I put Fornals in the middle. I think that's going to be really effective for Fornals. Bowen is like, you're right, we've got no other choice. And Antonio, same. If Antonio can bag a few goals in here, if he's going to leave, it's going to bump his price tag up. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't leave, give him some confidence that he very much needs.
When you look at Antonio's performance last week against Everton, it was much improved to what we see at Wolves. To be fair, against Wolves, that performance against Wolves could not have got any worse. The only way it could have got any worse is he just walked on the pitch and stood there and didn't move for 90 minutes.
Kehrer and Ogbonna together, that could be a shaky partnership, but we cannot have Aguerd get injured.
It's time for players to step up now. Look, as we said, Derby are going to be no mugs going into this game. They are going to be buzzing. They're on form. They've won, I think, 5 of their last 6. As I said, unbeaten in 90 minutes since October. I think that game, they lost to penalties against Liverpool. So that's the only registered loss they've actually got since October of last year. With a striker like McCaldrick, they've got a player there that can cause our backline a lot of problems. They're going to score. And I fully expect them to score first. But I think we're going to be too strong for them. So I'm going to go with 2-1 win.
I actually agree with that. I think, do you know what? I was initially thinking 1-0. But the more I analyse that back line, mm-hmm. Creswell as well, who's been a weak link in the back, Johnson coming. I mean, that's a shaky back line, but it's attacking heavy.
Yeah.
We've got the firepower going forward. So I think it's a case where we're going to outscore them. And I think, it's going to be nervy at the start. And then the goals will come in 2-1.
See? Same on predictions, mate. Same on lineups.
We don't do it on purpose. I fully thought our starting 11 is going to be totally different.
I will be back next week with all the build up to the Newcastle game. Make sure you check out the watch along. Nicky will be up at the game on Monday night, so he'll be there. Fan cams, and one thing left to say. Come on, you eyes.